Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I want to talk about a recent change that flew a little bit under the radar with the Beta 5 update, but has since come to a head with many people noticing it and the direct impact that it actually has on the game and what it means for Multicrew. Now, what it's all about is the reward system. When Multicrew was introduced, Frontier spent a lot of time talking about it on live streams, and in the first 4 beta iterations of the game, it essentially meant that everyone participating in the bounties in combat within Multicrew all got the same reward. So when you jumped into a ship, you may act as a gunner, or you may act as a ship to launch fighter pilot, or you may just simply sit there doing nothing at all. But if you were involved in combat, and if a ship was destroyed, then every player on board the ship would get an equal bounty. If that ship that you destroyed was worth 100,000 credits, then everyone would get 100,000 credits. Now with Beta 5, that has been changed. The way it works now is that the reward is based on your combat rank. Now at the moment, Frontier haven't provided any stats on exactly how this works and how that reward actually tapers off and how it balances between various players. The reason we don't have those details may well be down to the fact that Frontier might want to do a final balance on this, or it could simply be down to the fact that Frontier don't want those stats out there in an easily readable way, and they tend to go that direction quite often, so it wouldn't surprise me. But nonetheless, I'm going to do a few videos. I'm going to start experimenting tonight so we can get some idea exactly how each player is rewarded based on their rank. That said, I've seen some examples out there with some occasions of players earning around about 150,000 for one kill, and the other person on board the ship earning just 60,000 or so. And I've seen other examples where the main person or the helmsman has taken 70,000 and the other person on board the ship has taken simply 30,000, so there can be quite a significant difference. Now Frontier have taken to the forums here and they have clarified the situation a bit. They've expressed that the helmsman would always get 100% of the reward, no matter what, and that other players on board, if they have an elite rank for example, they should also get 100% of the reward or thereabouts. This change then is all very much about keeping the existing progress of the game, the way you progress from Sidewinder through to the next ship up, through to ultimately the Anaconda. What Frontier don't want is a brand new player joining the game, joining a Multicrew session, and simply sitting there making millions upon millions of credits. Now when I made my original Multicrew video, that was something I did point out myself. I found it very odd that new players would be able to make that amount of money, but nonetheless it meant players would be able to get into the game very easy, and they wouldn't be turned away due to the slow progress that many people tend to experience. Based on the many comments I've seen on the forums and especially on my videos since I did my first Multicrew video, it seemed that most people were very happy with the ability to earn that amount of money. A few people did point out it seemed a bit excessive and a bit too easy, but for the most part people were very much in favour of it, and it did mean that a lot of people were willing to return back to the game because, well, things were going to be a little bit easier for them, a little bit better, and they would be able to join in with equal rewards with their friends, something that had turned them away previously because basically the payout balance was unbalanced, or at least that's how they felt, and so they then left the game. So essentially this change throws all of that out the window and puts things back in a very different and perhaps all too familiar ground. I can understand where Frontier are coming from. It makes sense that they don't want to ruin the early in-game progression, and that they don't want to therefore upset the entire balance of the game. It also makes sense that they don't want players buying Anacondas within the first few days when those players have no learning or no understanding of how the game itself actually works. They'd be getting straight to the larger ships, the most powerful ships, without actually in effect having learned anything about the game at all. But that is simply down to the way Frontier have implemented Multicrew, isn't it? Rather than the fact that the reward is a bit too high. I mean, even with these lower payouts, it simply means that new players will simply have to sit on a ship a little bit longer, even passively if they so want, to earn that extra money. Have Frontier perhaps shot themselves in the foot with this change? Is it a change that makes sense? Was it better when players could earn millions and millions on board someone else's ship? Or does protecting this perceived balance of the game take priority over everything else? do let me know in the comment section below what you think of this. I'd love to hear from you. From the comments I've seen so far on both the official forums as well as on Reddit, it seems that the reaction is fairly mixed. Quite a lot of people are very disappointed because essentially it removes one of the prime motivators for joining Multicrew, which of course was the ability for all crew members to get an equal and fair reward. So whether you're all for this change or whether you're completely against it, like I say, do let me know. Again, I'll be back in Elite Dangerous tonight. I'm going to be testing out the game with a few friends, and we're going to see precisely how the reward is balanced based on rank. Whether you're a harmless player or mostly harmless, or whether you're deadly or dangerous, let's see how this actually works. I'll report those findings to you in a future video. For now, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.